Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of OSI Today, the podcast featuring news and views from around the Office of Special Investigations. I'm Wayne Amon from OSI Public Affairs, and in this edition, we continue our special series within OSI Today called My OSI Journey, which showcases the diversity and inclusion of our command-wide members. And today I'm very pleased to be joined by Special Agent Jacob Pearce with OSI Special Projects Detachment 1 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Jacob, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, Mr. Amon. I'm happy to be here.
And I noticed, in your biography, prior to us hitting the airwaves here, that you hail from a place that I used to work in, San Angelo, Texas. Is that right?
Yes, it's a great little town hidden out there in the middle of West Texas.
Right. I used to work there as of all things, a radio play-by-play announcer when the San Angelo Outlaws used to roam the ice over there. But anyway, great to talk to somebody from San Angelo, Texas again. Now, also in your biography, you mentioned that you didn't begin your military career in OSI. You began with the 47th Operations Support Squadron at Laughlin Air Force Base in Texas. Can you kind of explain what you did in that position?
Well, in that position, I was kind of responsible with a number of things in support to aircrew, whether it be packing their parachutes or inspecting their flight gear, such as a parachute harness or their oxygen mask and helmet.
Right. Yeah, well, it sounds like a big responsibility, which leads me to my next question. When and how did you become interested in law enforcement and subsequently OSI to change career paths?
I think it was a long time coming. Growing up, I always loved, and still to this day, I love action movies. And, usually the hero of the movie oftentimes is in some law enforcement capacity. So,
right.
That desire for excitement was always there. And then, stumbling into the Air Force and finding myself packing parachutes and inspecting gear was nice and rewarding, and I felt important, but I just wanted something a little bit more out of my time in the military. And after being exposed to OSI briefly, I think I just fell in love with it. It was just something that caught my eye and was kind of a dream come true falling into it.
Right. Now, again, your biography, getting back to that, it says that you cross-trained at the Special Investigations Academy back in 2014. So congratulations on you just passed your 7-year anniversary, I guess, within OSI.
I did. Thank you so much. It was a quick 7 years.
I can imagine. Now, mentioning how your OSI career began following the academy. Can you kind of take us through that a little bit? Because obviously I mentioned that you work with special projects out there in Vegas, but how did things begin for you as a special agent?
Like I said, it's been 7 years, but the road to special projects has been long. My first base down there at Laughlin and border of Texas and Mexico and Del Rio. It's a tiny little base, and even being from West Texas, I didn't even know the base was there.
Right.
I initially thought it was an overseas location, so I'm all excited looking at the maps, and I'm like, I can't find this for nothing. And then a friend of mine's like,
Jacob, I can tell you, Jacob, Texas is a big place.
It is. And I would have bet any amount of money that there wasn't a place called Laughlin Air Force Base in Texas, but I was wrong. So, running some investigations out of there, which initially right off the bat, we were pretty overwhelmed with cases. I was only there for a couple of years, and then I had the opportunity to actually go to Hawaii and work out of a joint base, which was unique, kind of being exposed to Navy as well as Air Force.
Right.
I was there for a few years out there working crim cases and CI, and I think that's where I really fell in love with counterintelligence investigations. And then ultimately, OSI was kind enough to give me an assignment in special projects out of Las Vegas, which has just been an absolute blessing.
Right, right. Now, as we go along in your OSI career, were there any challenges that you faced once you joined the organization? And if there were, how did you overcome them?
Oh, there were definitely challenges along the way. And I think I'm the agent I am today only because of half of those challenges that I faced. And like I said, the first few years I was in OSI, run some investigations out of Laughlin. I was even exposed to some IG complaints
Uh-huh.
because it turns out people that are usually a part of the cases don't like being investigated, and so they tend to file some complaints. And so that thankfully I was able to get through those with the help of OSI, supporting me and giving me the cover that we needed because we were doing good things, and
Right.
it was very rewarding. But as a young agent, having to face something like that, it's definitely not easy because
Uh-huh.
you're new, and so you're questioning everything that you're doing, and you want to make sure you're doing everything by the book. So
Right.
thankfully, OSI leadership, from the headquarters all the way down to my special agent in charge that I was with, was very supportive. So it
Uh-huh.
definitely worked out for me.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it was a win-win situation for you and the organization that you got that kind of what they call the top cover from the folks above you.
Yes, definitely. And I was definitely exposed to some of the things that they have to deal with on a daily basis as well, just with all the FOIA requests and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
definitely gained a further appreciation for headquarters and for leadership for standing up and helping us out.
Now, Jacob, as you look at on your OSI career, who or what inspires you to do your best work within OSI?
Geez, inspiration. I think I get inspiration from a lot of different places. I think
Uh-huh.
mostly it comes from the people I work with, from
Right.
coworkers to commanders and leadership at my units. I think what drives me and inspires me is just not wanting to let them down.
Okay.
Um, you know, Trying to give it my all because anytime that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it puts more work on everybody else.
Right. Right.
And you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I think that my leadership and coworkers definitely plays a huge role in my inspiration to do my best in OSI.
Uh-huh.
But there's other factors, but I think by and far they're the biggest motivators.
Right. Right. Now, what's the most gratifying part of your job with OSI? Has it been with special projects, your most recent sub organization?
Ooh, I don't think so
Okay.
because I felt more of the initial effects, and it might just been the fact that I was green right out of the OSI Academy. So
Uh-huh.
some of those initial investigations that I was doing right after the academy really kind of suck in as to you know this is what makes being an agent gratifying, being able to better the Air Force and better units.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of had the rude awakening of getting back from the OSI Academy and finding out that there was numerous ex coworkers from a previous unit that were under investigation for various things, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
not good. And
Sure.
then kind of seeing the other side of a unit, the other side of a base, because
Right.
I was one career field and then went to the academy and came back as OSI, so it gives you a different perspective too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I think that seeing it was kind of a ring investigation. So seeing the problem within a unit and then seeing what other people were dragged into it.
Okay.
And so you really get the sense of the importance of removing one or two people and thus saving careers of numerous other people that are good people. They're just hanging around with bad people, associating
Uh-huh.
with bad people.
Right. Right.
That just infects units like a virus. So being
Right.
able to
Right.
to help out those units, get them on the right path because um, the drama and it's just definitely not good for production and morale.
Sure.
So I
Sure.
think initially just seeing that because I saw both sides of the sidewalk there, I think that initially gave me some of the biggest kind of gratifying moments.
Yeah. Okay. Very well said. Now, granted, we all know that hindsight is 2020, Jacob. But if you could do it all over again, is there anything you would change about your OSI career that you could think of?
Ooh, change, I would say no, just because I feel extremely lucky to be where I am right now. So I think
Uh
if I
huh.
changed anything, I probably wouldn't be where I am now.
Right.
And I'm typically not one to look on the other side of the fence and go, man, the grass looks awful green over there. Um, but I think if I wouldn't mind maybe doing things, maybe just taking a completely different path.
Okay.
Um, if somebody was like, you know what, you can't do the same thing you did now. You had to do something different.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's so many exciting things about OSI, whether you're supporting PACAF missions more in the Pacific, or you're supporting Region Two, kind of more expeditionary overseas missions. I think those have always kind of caught my eye.
Uh
So
huh.
I think there's so many exciting things within OSI that I wouldn't mind get more taste of. Like I
Sure.
said, I've been in 7 years now, and I'm like, man, where's the time going? Like, there's so many other things that I would like to experience with OSI,
Right.
but I still got quite a few years ahead of me, so I'm looking forward to the future as well. But
Sure.
definitely some exciting stuff within OSI for sure.
Right. Well, you mentioned the word future. What direction do you, as a special agent, with boots on the ground, what do you envision OSI going toward in the future from your perspective?
Ooh, from my perspective, I can't say anything specifically because I'm unsure what the future holds, but I know we're headed in the right direction.
Okay.
With all the additional hiring, and you see training getting more prevalent and more effective. Nothing but good things ahead for sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited to continue to work with OSI. I love talking to people about OSI and trying to recruit new people because it's just a really great career field, great command.
Yeah.
The people are the absolute best. So I think that we're definitely headed in the right direction. And for the most part, I don't just knowing that we're going in the right direction. I don't exactly care exactly where we're going.
Okay.
Just I'm happy to be a part of the ride here.
Okay, outstanding. Now, as you mentioned again before we started recording, Jacob, we talked a bit about diversity and inclusion being a big initiative within OSI. From your viewpoint, why is diversity and inclusion, foundational to the success of OSI?
Well, I've 7 years is a good amount of time, but I definitely know quite a few agents that have been in significantly longer. And I think even the time that I've been in, I've seen changes of personnel and personalities and experiences and backgrounds. And the mission's kind of changing too, in that
Hmm.
we're no longer having to have somebody that's going to go knock on doors and strike up conversations, A-type personality. Now we're getting to more into data analytics,
Uh-huh.
and so you're kind of looking for different personalities too.
Right.
So I different kinds of people are extremely important to OSI because of our mission is so unique. And I can't tell you how many times that I've had to learn something, um, to help with an investigation or help support it,
Right.
or just to give me some background knowledge on what it is that I'm kind of looking at. That I've worked with other people. They're like, oh, I used to be in bioenvironmental career field, or I used to have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
comm background.
Yeah.
So I think
So,
it's
so it's, I
super
guess,
helpful.
if I may, Jacob, it's a
Hmm.
good thing for you as far as your career. You've been able to pick people's brains and kind of be like a sponge and gather that extra knowledge in.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, um, coming out of the OSI Academy and then everybody's under investigation I used to work with, I unfortunately had too much background knowledge on everything. I'm like, oh gosh, I know way too much about these people.
Well, they say knowledge is power, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yes, they do.
Now, Jacob, let's put a recruiter hat on you just for a second, if you
Okay.
could. What advice would you give someone who would like to join OSI? What would you tell them or her?
Oh man, advice. So I think there's numerous things that I would like to inform them about OSI, um, because it's so easy to kind of get caught up in all the great things that OSI does,
Right.
and all the great things you can do as an agent or support personnel within OSI. But it's a lot of work.
Uh-huh.
Um, Coming from a previous career field where if I was feeling motivated that day, I could do a whole day's worth of work, and you know, by lunchtime, and in
Yeah. Yeah.
OSI, there's, tons of work that has to be done, and you're never going to do it all in one day. So that
Right.
was a big change for me. So I think it'd just be stressing the amount of work that requires of OSI agents, but also telling them, how gratifying it is, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I've always compared it to my kids in that, they're absolutely wonderful and I love them to death, but they're a lot of work. So I think OSI is just absolutely wonderful, but it's a lot of work from time to time, but it's great stuff. And so I think that anybody would be happy to have a career like OSI.
Okay. Very well said. Now, before we wrap things up today, Jacob, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think that, um, just reach out and ask an OSI agent, and for those that are interested, and they'll be happy to tell you their story, just like I have. And I think we're headed in the right direction.
Okay, very well, very succinctly put. Our guest has been Special Agent Jacob Pearce from OSI Special Projects Detachment 1, Las Vegas, Nevada. Jacob, hey, thanks again for taking the time to be with us today. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
And thanks to all of you for listening, for also tuning in to OSI Today. I'm Wayne Amos saying so long for now.